First of all, on the money side of the equation in building IT infrastructure, it's the age-old IT concerns, and they still remain. You've got to compress your costs all the time. You've got to think about OpEx and CapEx all the time and continue to address those concerns. And at Sun, I think for 25 years now, we've been saying the network is the computer, and we know it's never been more true than it is today. So everybody's coming online more and more all the time. I think every day I do something new online that I didn't do yesterday, so I bring more of my life and my data online. And that's just increasing the demand across the board. So agility matters. All of our customers are just trying to meet those demands to increase their scale every single day. And then we look at the world, right? I have a 17-year-old daughter who works on an organic farm, and she loves to engage me in conversations about sustainable lifestyle and carbon footprint, and so we talk about this stuff. Actually, it's important to us at Sun. We recognize that we have social responsibility here. We recognize as this infrastructure continues to increase, our planet can't sustain it the way that we're currently addressing the market today. So we've got to make some pretty major changes. So while we believe it's our corporate responsibility to help save the planet, we also know that what makes sense, common sense, also makes good business sense. And so these are the areas that we've been focused in. So we were talking a lot about this whole data center evolution, and I realized, God, I've actually worked on all of these things. Wow, okay. Woo. But it's kind of changed a lot over the past few decades. If you think back to, in the 70s and early 80s, where you just had that tube and the mainframe kind of thing, and then we went through this great evolution where computing was just in everybody's hands, and it's just been so amazingly cool. But it's been tough, right? Because we go through phases where you go from decentral to centralized as things get, you want to put more agility out there, then you want to bring them back in and make them easier to manage. So we've been through many, many phases. And we're kind of looking at that we're in a pretty major shift right now from this internet data center to this eco-grid type thing. We think it's a shift the world has to make. We see it's a shift that a lot of our customers are working with us to make. And that's because if you kind of look back to 95 and you go to the projections for the number of servers that are going to be in the market by 2010, 700% increase in the number of servers. I mean, we're talking people saying there's going to be 41 million servers out there. Think about managing that, the costs associated with it. I mean, even the way a lot of these are structured today, the size of the footprint, what it costs for the data center, what it costs for heating and cooling. And then the continual demand as people like me do more and more on the network for more and more infrastructure behind it, just means that that's going to increase unless we make a pretty major change. And that major change is what we're really focused on today when we talk about virtualization. And everything that we're doing in virtualization is focused around taking all of those pieces that have grown over the years, the additional agility and capability that have been put out in the market, but now be able to do it in a way that we can make it even more agile, more efficient, just bring all those things back together. And that's really what we talk about, improved efficiencies with virtualization. Basically, a lot of the servers that are out there today, I think when we talk to our customers, a lot of them are only about 10% utilized. So it's pretty easy to just deploy a new server and put it out in your data center if you actually have the space and can get the heating and cooling for it. But then the utilization's low. It's easier to kind of manage it that way sometimes if you want to isolate applications, which has been the way that people have been doing it for about a decade now. But virtualization now gives us the ability to create a layer on top where you can do your application isolation and you can do your management and you can really separate it from that physical layer. And now we can start thinking about managing the physical layer more consciously, separate from where you're actually putting your applications. So those are the reasons why we've been so focused on virtualization. That's why we spend so much time here on it. That's why we're bringing new products to market. That's why even when we look at what our competitors are doing and some of the products we currently use, we see a need for additional things in the same space. We see a need to put virtualization servers out there that scale in a different way, that can be managed differently. And when we talk about virtualization, we talk about servers that actually know how to work with the management software, that are co-designed to work with the management software. We talk about doing storage in a very different way. I'm sure you guys have heard some about our open storage initiatives. But it's a really different approach. And it's an approach that we believe is going to let our customers get to that next level of scale and agility. We're going to talk obviously about services because I'm here, so we'll talk about services. And then just across the board, how we bring partners into all of this. Sun has always been a very partner-centric company. We believe at our core, we've got some great innovation to bring to the market, innovation in technology and in process and in methodology. And we partner with a lot of people across the board in order to get the right solutions in our customers' hands.